Yeah.
Starting the record.
Beautiful.
Delicious. So so we do the intros right out. I'm gonna say your name so you'll know when it's time for you to do your intro. I didn't do that last week.
Well, we know 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean the? Okay, I gotcha.
I'm going
No.
first,
He
right?
means like the introducing ourselves bit, not the.
Yeah, your actual introduction.
Oh.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
On this episode of the CultureSmash Cast,
Disney rules.
A friend joins the Space Force.
And I'm really getting some mixed signals here. Is it crime or is it curfew for COVID-19?
All that and rosé.
it's the CultureSmash Cast, episode 519 for April the 8th, 2020. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv. Nico?
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Tina?
Tina Heimbach, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Nathan?
Nathan Savino, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
And Zach?
Zach Martin, dumbass.
Yeah, that's true.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Snob.
How's everybody doing with their week of quarantine?
Get me out of here.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
I'll be honest.
You went grocery shopping yesterday, Tina.
I did.
I'll be honest. I joined a PC gaming group on Discord, and having game nights every night. It's something. You get to chat with people. It's great.
What are you playing?
I was hoping.
We're
really
playing
hoping that Zach was
Jackbox
gonna say
games. We're
join a
playing
cult.
Cards Against Humanity. We're playing some Steam games like DBD or Dead by Daylight.
Okay,
So,
cool.
I've been walking and I got blisters.
Welcome to your 30s.
I am
it's made up of mainly people from the haunt.
I see.
I am currently getting about a month and a half to the gallon right now. So.
Right? And the gas is so cheap, it's not even enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
The gas is so cheap, but there's nowhere to go.
Yes.
And
It's like 2.5 weeks for a gallon or a tank for me.
the very worst part is no movies to go see. That's killing me.
Gosh,
Killing me.
Yeah.
There was a thread that started a couple days ago about the screen grabs of portions of the event of in-game with audience reactions, where the audience is just going nuts when things like Cap gets Thor's hammer, when the portals open up and one shows up, and all these key moments. And I'm like, man, I miss an audience.
It's so much better in a really good movie to be in an audience. Horror movies, a good horror movie, I tell you what, a mediocre horror movie can be elevated by audience.
Yes.
Or bad horror movie.
Or a really bad horror movie. Yeah, that can be elevated by audience. So I miss it too.
I miss the popcorn.
Right? So
I miss the discussions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and this, I don't know if this is what everybody does, but are like standing in the theater for 30 minutes after the movie's over talking about it. That's
yeah.
something.
Or going out somewhere to talk about it afterwards, maybe over a bite or a cup of coffee or something. Yeah.
So I blew through the entire Mission Impossible box set. I watched everything. That was fun. It's really it's included. That one was not as much fun. It's so funny when you start that movie. I started to look at it and I'm like, well, man, the movie is not good. But the style, I mean, there's so much style in the visuals. But then the style is so heavy. It's like every freaking scene has to be slow motion or something happening.
Doves.
Well, that's his trademark. That had to happen in there somewhere. But it's like so pounded down with style and no story. But starting from J.J. Abrams and Brad Bird moving forward, it's fun to watch those movies back to back because there's an inner connectivity to the stories that some of it's overt and obvious, and there's a lot of smaller things that are there that like stand out more when you watch literally one every day for 6 days. Now I'm rewatching Mad Men right now.
I'm almost to Ozark.
Ozark's great. Ozark is so good.
Nico and I have started Handmaid's Tale and a cult documentary on Hulu, Cults and Extreme Beliefs.
Ooh,
So
I'll watch that.
figure those two go hand in hand. So
What are you guys thinking about Handmaid's Tale?
it is very different from the book. Like it starts out the same, and then episode 2, it's like that did not happen. So Nico's turning to me, being like, "How did that happen in the book?" I was like, "I don't know." So
Tina just turned into a robot.
Yeah, it's
For a second, yeah.
Yeah, you roboted for a moment, Tina.
We got it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating show. I do turn to Tina because there's a lot of the world building stuff that I'm still trying to like contemplate in my head. So
he turns to
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
woman in the relationship and goes, "How I would do it is you wouldn't. That's how you do it. You don't."
I liked it when every time Tina is just giving the finger to the patriarchy, it's to me, not to the TV.
That's hilarious. You become the general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that show. I mean, there's some stinkers in it throughout the 3 seasons, but generally it's really good. But the other part is I maintain is it's the most beautifully shot show on TV.
Oh yeah, it's
so
beautifully
beautiful.
done.
Oh, yeah.
That cinematography.
And we've been enjoying it. So.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
And they've been pretty consistent with their story.
Yeah, I felt in season 2 there were a few episodes that maybe weren't as good as the best of the series, but overall I really liked it. It's good. So that's a really depressing, dark thing to watch during quarantine. That's perfect.
I got like 5
Oh, yeah,
episodes in,
perfect.
and I was like, I don't want to feel like shit when I watch this show, so
You
I
are
don't want to watch it.
You are such a baby. You are such a baby.
It's so bleak.
It is bleak.
I mean, it's like, God, I feel like going out to the lake and ripping off my dick.
But she's such a badass, though. Jude, the character, she's so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us
Elizabeth
how you
Moss
really
is
feel,
really
Zach.
good.
Mhm.
I mean, that's why I had to
The
stop
thing that
watching
probably-
that show.
Go ahead,
The
Nico.
thing
Things
that I
might have
think
happened.
shocks
Sorry.
me the most about the show, a couple things. One is exactly how close it is to contemporary day. That it's only like 5 years from now, pretty much. And then the next part being the song choices that they go out with in some of the shows. Like this is a very culturally aware pop in terms of its scoring, in terms of its musical choice. It's fascinating.
Oh yeah. Well, you talk about something that's like culturally or like just like accurate, like real feeling is I just watched Contagion. That was on my I was going to do that on my off the shelf movie night video for quarantine picks. Have you guys seen that movie?
No,
No.
and I need to.
Okay.
No.
So I have the Blu-ray. I haven't watched it since I bought it though. And
It's like a 2011 Steven Soderbergh film.
yeah. And
Kate
it's
Winslet.
Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne,
Gwyneth
Gwyneth
Paltrow.
Paltrow. It's like an amazing cast. But basically, it's like the story of what's happening to us right now. It went from a really good sort of suspense drama to a straight up freaking horror movie. Because I'm watching it, and I'm like, this thing is like spot on to what really is happening. It's crazy.
Mhm.
And when you looked at the bonus features, Steven Soderbergh spent a ton of time, and he had a ton of scientists from the World Health Organization and from CDC working with them on the script and the production of the film to make sure it was accurate. And it's creepy just how accurate it really is. It's you got to watch it. It's something else. I remember liking it, but I haven't seen it in a lot of years.
One other thing I wanted to bring up on Handmaid's Tale is that it's on Hulu, and
Yep.
we have ad version of Hulu, so we get ads during it occasionally. And one of the upcoming shows on Hulu is called Mrs. America, which is starring Cate Blanchett about the fight for and against the equal rights movement in the 60s from the women's libs side of things. And Cate Blanchett's character is this super conservative fighting against equal women's rights in like the 60s.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and I'm watching this. It's also an ad during Handmaid's Tale, and if you're going into Handmaid's Tale wondering how are you having people like the Serena Joy character who are obviously for this new status quo and fought to suppress women's rights? It's like, oh, here you go. Here's an ad for a show where people actually did it.
Did it? Yeah. That's creepy. All right, let's get into our stories.
All right.
Tina?
All right. So Louisiana police have had to apologize for using a siren almost identical to the one used in The Purge to signal a lockdown curfew during the city's coronavirus quarantine. So according to Variety, Crowley police patrolled the streets of Acadia Parish with the noise blaring out of their squad cars to alert residents of the new nightly curfew that is in place between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. Many found the sound to be eerily familiar to the one from the horror franchise. Officials were made aware of the similarities between the real-life siren, as heard in a video posted on the KATC news channel, and the alarm used in the film and TV series to signify the start of an annual government-sanctioned event in which all crime, including murder, becomes legal for 12 continuous hours. Speaking to KATC, Crowley Police Chief Jimmy Brossard said he hadn't realized that the siren was associated with the franchise and that he doesn't plan on using any type of alarm for the curfew going forward. The Purge is one of the most political horror franchises ever produced, and every installment offers thoughtful political allegories and hard-edged, disturbing violence. The fifth and supposedly final entry into the film series is currently scheduled for release on July 10th, but it could yet join the growing list of movie and TV productions affected by COVID-19.
So I can kind of, one comment on that is the whole thing about thoughtful political commentary. I don't know how thoughtful it is. It's pretty.
I don't know. It's like a sledgehammer to the head.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Now,
Yeah.
It did become for 4 years straight for me a 4th of July tradition to see the new Purge movie because I thought it was hilarious and fun. I like the first one. I don't really like the others so much, but I like Lena Headey.
I mean, the Purge election year was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, that
Was
one was
Was it?
topical.
It was great.
I mean, it's that whole franchise is one of those. It's like a crappy franchise that I still like because the one thing that has stayed consistent is the level of violence because it is a violent franchise. But
I watch that when I get angry sometimes. I'll just watch the Purge movie.
I just love it on the 4th of July. I just think it's hilarious. But I don't know how I'd feel, if like we were going into curfew and I heard the Purge bell outside in the driveway. I'd probably laugh, to be honest with you. I guess I'd probably laugh.
I mean, I wouldn't be scared because there was no
Stab
official
whoever's
Purge
immediately
announcement.
next to you. That's what would happen.
That's it. That's the move. But usually you don't kill the person that's in your house. You go out and find somebody.
Yeah.
I
find it so bland and basic that the only crime really being committed in those movies is murder.
No, it's not the only crime that's being committed. You see all the other stuff happening too.
There's rape.
There's rape. There's people robbing and stealing.
There's loitering.
Yeah.
There is nobody planting a community garden.
There is no one jaywalking. There is no one committing fraud.
It's what?
See, that's it. Yeah, it's these rioting crimes that are happening. Like people who are like breaking into storefronts and like shattering glass and going to homes and stealing stuff and murdering people. It's not like real high crimes of major identity theft that's taking place during these times, or I guess crimes against the state in
but see,
a revolution.
I don't
happening.
know. I would argue election year is that one. Regardless of quality of the film, there is like a major crime happening. And then, my thought process on it too is if you're going to really get into that aspect of it, Zach, it's like a social commentary on the media. We don't see as much in the news on Friday night about high crimes as we do who killed who on the street. I mean,
This is why I don't watch news.
But I mean, it's a commentary on that too. But I just, the whole idea that to be in like a neighborhood where there is curfew and you hear that as the choice of horn.
Right.
I mean, that's got, like, for people who were like me, apparently me and you, Tina, would know it right away.
I'd be like, oh no, I'm not ready for this.
Where's the weapons? Where's the weapons? I would turn into what's his name's character from the second Aliens film. We're gonna die, man. We're gonna die.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton, yeah.
Game over, man.
Game over.
Game over. Game over.
That's hilarious. All right, who's got the next thing?
The only thing that I think I just wish it was also like the I love the Silent Hill siren. If it was that one going on,
that would be so cool.
That would be pretty great.
Yeah.
Because the world would finally make sense. It's like, oh, okay, we're in Silent Hill.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan.
Disney Executive Chairman Bob Iger says the company may implement new procedures to screen visitors when their theme parks reopen after the coronavirus pandemic. Iger went on to say, just as we now do back checks for everybody that goes into our parks, it could be that at some point we add a component of taking people's temperatures. As for instance, we're studying very carefully what China has been trying to do in terms of their return to normalcy. And one of these things that obviously they're scripted a large segment of their population to monitor others in terms of their health. You can get on a bus or a subway or a train or enter high-rise buildings there. I'm sure this will be the case when their schools reopen without having your temperature taken. Oh, sorry. There was a notification that popped up on the screen. I was like, wait, what is it?
Yeah, that's why I was going, it was fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
Yep, I didn't see it.
For attractions you can look forward to in the future when the parks reopen, you can get Marvel's themed expansion, Avengers Campus, and the Land's new Spider-Man ride featuring Tom Holland.
See, I think if we're in a situation where
at Disneyland specifically.
In California, if we're in a situation though where you have to have your temperature taken to go into the park, I don't know if I'm ready to go back to the parks yet, to be honest with you.
Think of it this way though. If we're in a situation where it's easier to get a checkup by going to Disney World than it is to go to a doctor,
okay,
I'm gonna go to Disney World.
Hell yeah, let's
The
go.
copay is going to be about the same.
Disney has already announced they're not going to reopen until at least June 1st. So
Yeah.
So this is inside baseball, but I will explain it a little bit. When I saw this story, the first thing I just started busting out laughing because I was in a conversation on Facebook with Alan from who's been on the show a lot about the merits of Disney over doing other things or whatever. And Zach jumped in the conversation and said, Disney's great because they have everything you need for an emergency. And then I saw this story, I just started laughing.
I mean,
I'm like,
it's true.
It's not really a selling point for a theme park though, sir, but okay.
Was I wrong?
Well, I guess it's gone to the extreme now.
I mean, if you gotta pick a place to be during the apocalypse,
Happiest place
there's
on
a whole
earth,
city
bitches!
underneath a theme park. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And let's face it, Dole Whip.
Yeah.
One day
Whip.
I will have this Dole Whip thing. I don't even know
It's
what
really
this is.
real.
Plus you can hop over to Animal Kingdom and pretend you're joking for a day, or Joe Exotic for a day.
Perfect.
Joe Exotic for a day.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney, because I completely forgot about this, I finally saw Onward.
And
Yeah.
We have yet to see it.
It is so bland.
Yep.
no, oh my God, shut your face, Zach.
I think there's one good scene in there,
Shut.
and the rest of it is like literally 4.5 out of 10.
Just suck my balls. Just
So,
Oh no.
so I don't.
No, we can't do that on this stream.
Yeah, I don't think we want that on the Zoom app. But to be
Comes to
fair,
fans only.
I sadly,
Unless we're,
I kind of agree with Zach on this one. It feels like your basic DreamWorks movie to me. It doesn't feel like.
the story was
It
good,
feels
though.
so one note.
But the story was so like paint by numbers. It
Yes.
there was nothing. Usually when you get a good Pixar film, you know, there's like that element where you can attach to it and feel that character's journey and everything. But this one is like, oh, well, this is the same thing they've been doing in cartoons for 50 years. It's not like the way Toy Story was, or the way even Inside Out, which I think is an underrated film that's very good. Yeah, I agree. Sadly, I hate agreeing with Zach, but it's true. He's right.
There's a fundamental problem with the world they set up. How long has it been in this transition from medieval magic world to modern?
Well, I think we're gonna have to wait on it. I don't want to get too into that.
I mean, that's the first 5 minutes.
I know, but Nico Tina haven't seen it yet. I don't want to ruin it.
It's on Disney Plus, but
it is.
Knowing that piece of info would probably recontextualize the film, but we're never given that.
We are.
So, I mean,
Was that Nathan slurping rosé? Is that what?
Yep.
Did you not see him demand Matt to refill his glass earlier? Because I did.
The reason I bring that up is basically, if it's been 20 years since they made that transition, totally understand the world they've set up in the design.
Well,
if it's been like 300 years, then every single piece of design is a joke for the audience.
Oh, that's what it is.
And non-conducive to their world.
That's what it is.
That's what I feel. Bad thing.
Yeah. I didn't hate it as bad as you, but I feel like it's 100% forgettable. You'll watch it, and you'll be all right. And
you'll forget about it 24 hours later.
Yeah, it's cotton candy.
I've already watched it 3 times, so shut your butts.
Well, but we are in quarantine. You know, I'm probably about to watch freaking Jason Statham Death Race. That's what we are.
I got a movie for you to watch.
What's that?
Oh, it's called One Cut of the Dead.
Oh yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Remind me to talk about. There's something in the script I want to talk about in the TV section.
Oh, okay.
One movie that Nico and I will probably watch after we move into our new place is Houseu.
How is that movie?
Oh yeah.
It's packed, so we're not going to forget it.
Well, you should watch Houseu, and then you should watch the William Cat House movie also. Do a double shot. Perfect.
We're going to watch Houseu in our new house.
Perfect. I like it.
It's a nice housewarming kind of movie.
Is it?
I mean, they go to a new house.
Is it?
It's not a new house, but it's a new house for them.
Okay, so back on topic real quick though. If Disney,
it's not like it was just built.
Yeah, if Disney does reopen this summer, I think it's a pretty well assumed fact that we may have a second wave of Corona like later in the year. So I think if they do reopen, I think it is kind of a good thing at least this year to do the temperature check. I think it's smart.
Oh, they're doing volunteer temperature checks at the airports right now.
Yeah, we just had an airport worker at B&A here in Nashville get really sick.
Until they get a cure, you're going to see these. So.
That's fine. Especially if they get the gun. If they get the gun, they're just going to shoot you in the head with it when you walk by anyway. It won't matter. So I'll be good. All right, so let me pull the script back up and see where we are.
Yeah, you got a lot of real estate for the laser beam.
That's true.
I mean,
I wanted to draw a target like right here, and I'm like, can you get it right there?
I mean, what they realistically could do is get a thermal camera. I mean, that would save so much time.
I don't know how all that works.
You have a person monitoring, and if they see X color, like purple, appear on someone, they're like, oh, they're over 100 degrees.
Okay.
That person.
I
Instead of having to individually do it.
Really be able to
do it?
I think that would be very difficult to really do that in a way where it's accurate enough to actually be a fever or something versus it being, freaking hot outside in Orlando in the summer.
Okay,
fair enough.
Then how is the gun pointed to your head taking your temperature going
The
to be?
real solution is just to bring in a couple of predators and have them monitor the lines, the queue
But
lines.
that's what my thing is.
Well, no,
Well,
you're talking about cameras. I'm talking about the dudes. Predators.
You're
Yeah,
so dumb.
it depends on where the guns are stationed at, I guess, if they're able to do it in temperature-controlled areas so that it is just detecting the body heat.
Or also
I
close,
don't know.
you know?
I'm kind of suspicious on it, but yeah. Also,
I don't know.
up
All this
close to
talk
the
about
people.
heat
So
makes
it
me
is
wish
actually.
Segway.
all this talk about heat makes me wish for some snow.
Oh.
Let it
Transitioning
snow.
to TV.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Zach!
I was like,
You blew it.
why?
He did not get it at all.
Yeah, he
No,
blew,
I got it. I was just like,
He
nobody
did-
going to help her
yeah.
out?
blew it.
Yeah,
All right.
now.
Well, with just about every movie and TV show being delayed and production on future projects being halted, there's news of a series actually debuting earlier than scheduled. TNT, does anyone watch TNT? Has bumped up its Snowpiercer series.
I don't watch it, but I will.
There's one TV show I wanted. It was Snowpiercer.
Well, does this mean they're moving it sooner? Or they're moving it to later?
Yeah,
They're moving it sooner.
It's basically, it was supposed to premiere on Sunday, May 31st, and now it'll arrive 2 weeks sooner on Sunday, May 17th.
So what are you bitching about?
The movie was good.
The movie was bland.
The movie has my future husband in it, so I'll watch it.
Yeah, and he's a good actor, and I didn't think he was very good in that one.
Just gonna let that go.
No,
Just gonna let that go because I cannot.
Go.
So wrong. It is not bland.
Anyway.
Meh.
It's not the only well, it may be the only news show I've seen. I've seen other shows decide to come back from their break sooner. Like I know Killing Eve, for instance, is coming.
I was gonna say, is anybody watching that?
What show?
Killing Eve.
I've seen the first couple episodes. It's pretty good. I just haven't stuck with it yet.
I keep hearing it's really good, and yeah, you're right. That's one of the ones that's coming back soon. So I'm tempted to just go and like binge it. And
I think for this case, they were either in finishing the final episode or so, but they had the first, 2, 3, 4, finished. That way they could do it, just bump it up.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
I'm looking forward to the Snowpiercer series, mostly because I'm a big fan of Daveed Diggs, so I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're basing this on the graphic novel, which is way different than the movie, I still don't know how that's gonna work.
I mean, I assume they were going to go more into the movie than they were.
I mean, it says, if you read your story, it says it is based on the French graphic novel.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, but the movie says that too.
Is the show going to be the French graphic novel turned to TV?
I don't think that's
the movie is based on the French graphic novel too, and they are not the same.
Yeah.
One is about different classes. The other one's about a virus.
Yeah. I feel like the classes is a more interesting subject to dig deep into than a virus to me.
Well, it's with the classes moving.
I also feel like it's something that probably would be easier to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Topical.
I feel like if it was focusing on the virus, they probably would have pushed it later in the year instead of sooner. I mean, Zach and I both have a theory that was initially the reason that the James Bond movie got moved.
The more time that goes by,
I think that's fair.
It might be true, or it might be that Bond was like smart enough to just see it.
You think so? You think so? I mean, this is the people that did Quantum of Solace.
No, these are the people that did Spectre.
Even worse. So I don't see them seeing it.
Okay,
yeah, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. So real quick before we move into the next.
Actually, that is a good point because it's not like it would have been open during its time.
Yeah. real quick before we move into the next story, let me see if I can share this. I shared this with Zach, and because he's a little bitch, he never commented anything to me about it.
What?
Hang on, let me see if I can do this screen share thing. I'm gonna try to see if I can do this. There it is. How do I know what it's sharing? I don't know
I
what it's
don't
sharing.
see anything.
You can tell who does this for work and who doesn't.
Exactly, you could tell. I don't know what I'm actually doing here.
So at the bottom is a little share
I hit the
screen.
button and a bunch of
screen.
stuff is open now.
Yeah, now it says.
Yeah, you
which
choose your
page
window
would
that you want to share. Yeah.
That's how you share a screen.
Shut up.
Am I
But-
wrong?
Uh,
I'm gonna chop it up that you can't see.
Great video.
you know what? I'm just gonna
Audio too.
skip it. I'll just tell you because I was asking Zach if he saw this. I got an email from a company called MVD. MVD is the domestic distributor for companies like Arrow Video. They also do their own stuff. They do Vista. They do some Synapse and stuff like that. Anyway, they teamed up with a magazine called Rue Morgue, which is like the really sort of edgier, higher end version of Fangoria, to do a streaming service called Midnight Movie Society.
Yeah, I had heard about this about a year or so ago.
So it's launched now, and it's basically like Shudder, except it's way more cult. Their stuff, like I started doing some browsing yesterday just to get a feel for what they're offering, and their selection is way more edgy, a whole lot more foreign films.
Yeah, it's a lot
too.
more hardcore.
I mean, and like every kind of subgenre of horror that you can think of is pretty much represented there. It's like Shudder. It's small. Like it's not like, I don't know how many thousands of movies Netflix has now, but it's highly curated by people from Rue Morgue and from MVD. And what's cool is the way they have it set up now is it's $5 a month, same as Shudder. But if you sign up now, you get 2 Blu-rays from MVD of your choice.
Any
Nice.
Blu-rays of your choice?
Yeah, they give. Well, it's anything that MVD's got.
Okay.
Yeah, not like any movie, anything that MVD puts out, which is a crap ton of different horror movies and action movies.
You
Like
can
that.
get what's this movie?
What?
Veronica.
Yeah.
No. Do you know about this movie?
I don't know. You can't sit there stunned. We have an audio version.
No,
You got to speak.
we need to have a movie night once this is over, and I can show you Veronica.
You have to tell people.
Yeah. You got to say.
Veronica.
The worst
What's it
movie
about?
I might have ever seen.
Wear some black hat.
Yes.
Is it as scary? Is it as scary as the Babadook, the scariest movie of all time?
So, do you know who Glenn Danzig is?
I know exactly who Glenn Danzig is.
He directed and shot a
now
horror anthology that makes no goddamn sense.
Well, now I don't want to see it. Danzig is the singer for he did that song Mother.
Hold
Do
on.
anybody remember that
shot
song?
this on Airy Alexas, and it looks like an iPhone. It is
Hold on.
tits and
I'm
blood.
I'm looking at the Midnight Movie Society page. They have a movie called Boogers of the Antichrist.
Yep, I saw that. So they have a
I'm
whole.
signing up. Okay, we're good.
I mean, if you sign up for the year, you get 2 Blu-rays, so it's almost free.
One of them is going to be Boogers of the Antichrist.
Boogers of the Antichrist.
And we are getting no kickback from this. I just saw it yesterday and was like really excited that it was launching because the companies behind it are amazing.
I'm gonna send you the trailer, Steven, and
Oh, I'm excited.
you're gonna love it.
All right, so who's got the next story? I think it's Nico, right?
Nico has the last story.
I do. Yeah.
Go.
Did it not come through?
What?
We're waiting on you to say the story.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. We hear you. We're waiting
I
on
was
this.
about to, but it sounded like you guys couldn't hear me for a moment.
I know. We got
We
you.
were waiting on you.
Well, good. All right. So Netflix.
I've been waiting for 12 years.
Netflix's upcoming comedy series. I could just leave. So Netflix's upcoming comedy series Space Force adds a new cast member, the Friends alum Lisa Kudrow. The comedy, which is co-created by The Office's Greg Daniels and also the former Office star and star of this show, Steve Carell, adds Lisa Kudrow, and the series will premiere Friday, May 29th, barring any possible future COVID-19 delays. The series was picked up straight to series in January of 2019. Carell stars in a workplace comedy around people tasked to create the new sixth branch of the armed services, the Space Force, which was kind of brought about when our current president decided to also create a Space Force. The show will, Daniels, who's co-creating the show, will executive produce alongside Carell, and 3 Arts' Howard Klein, with the trio reuniting following their collaboration on The Office. John Malkovich, Diana Silvers, Tawny Newsome, and Ben Schwartz also star. Sources say that Carell's salary for the show, which also includes co-creator and executive producer fees, sets a new overall record for talent, likely topping the $1 million per episode paydays that cast members from The Big Bang Theory previously had. With The Office ranking as one of Netflix's most watched acquired series, sources note that it often collects more views than some of its original stuff. The Netflix streaming company has stepped up to try to get Carell when they heard that he was looking to get a new show.
I am excited for this show, and I feel like Lisa Kudrow was about the only thing good that came from Friends. I never liked any of that show, but she's real funny. And she's done some really fun stuff after that. Like not too long after Friends, she did what was that? Romeo and Michelle thing was really
High School Reunion.
Yeah, that's a cute movie and funny. And she did a thing for HBO called I think it was called Treatment or something like that. Basically, she was like a online psychiatrist for people. She's funny though, and this whole concept I think is really cool. Hopefully, it'll be better than Avenue 5, Zach's favorite show on HBO.
I'm excited because I really like Ben Schwartz.
Shit.
So I'm looking forward to seeing him in a lot more stuff.
Who is this?
Ben Schwartz. He did the voice for Sonic.
Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, he was John Ralphio in Parks and Rec, which is why I love him.
All right.
I like him a lot.
That also reminds me of something else I've been watching a lot lately, because Ben Schwartz voices, I think, Dewey, one of the ducks in the newer DuckTales version.
Oh, yeah?
Like Disney rebooted the DuckTales cartoon series back in 2017, and it's still going. Like season 3 just premiered. It's really good. I'm in season 1 right now. David Tennant, who played the 10th Doctor and was the Purple Man, the bad guy in the first season of Jessica Jones, is Scrooge because he's actually Scottish.
Of course. Perfect. What are you drinking, Tina?
Water.
Yeah.
Oh, boring.
Water.
Hydration's important.
Right? You're right.
So is dehydration.
No.
Got that peach
I want
water.
to try that peach.
It's delicious.
I don't think dehydration is important.
Dehydration is not what you want, I think.
It's definitely important if you like jerky.
Okay. So
we know you like jerky.
That's true. Well, there's a lot of people in quarantine right now, so there's probably a lot of jerky happening.
Enough of that one.
I mean, there's a lot of people in this room that like jerky.
Alrighty then.
New on Blu-ray this week, if you want to pick something up. Little Women is out. Doolittle is out on Blu-ray and 4K. Wow.
You want to go out to the store and pick something up.
Well,
Don't laugh at it, Nico. It won you the film ball.
That's true. Cats is out.
What, no 4K for Cats?
No 4K for Cats. Nope.
No butthole cut?
No butthole cut. And then also indie movie called VFW.
The butthole cut is on the
4K release.
VFW also has a 4K. And then Beyond the Door, you can still get, it's a horror film, you can still get the limited edition from Arrow Video. Those are the main things out this week. And you can still get most of this stuff at Walmart. Best Buy is closed now, I think, but they have all this stuff.
I think they're having pickup only.
Yeah, and you can mail order, of course, also. Do we have any comics this week, or are they still not printing?
No, still no comics. See you
Still-
last week for a news story about how there are no comics.
Yep, still no comics.
I have kind of news.
What's that?
There was announcements for some 4Ks.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that. What did you see?
Well, first up, we got Jaws 4K coming on June 2nd.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I didn't see a date. That's awesome.
No tech specs, so
Doesn't matter. Still gonna buy it.
Columbia is coming out with this like classics collection, volume 1.
It looks really good.
It's like $112.
But it's a
I
crap
can't
ton
get
of
the
movies.
individual movies.
Yeah, it's
Like-
a crap. Like, I think it's going to be one of those book things, kind of like how the Bond set is and the way Star Wars set is.
Yeah, but so there's Doctor Strangelove, Lawrence of Arabia, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, A League of Their Own, Jerry Maguire, and Gandhi. So I cannot get the individual release of Doctor Strangelove or Lawrence of Arabia.
So every single one of those movies is really good. I'm just wondering how Sony came to the decision to package those for the first set.
It's
like-
volume 1, but
It
I
is.
guess they're trying to do 60s, 70s.
Yes. Doesn't really. Yeah, I don't know what the theming was, how they chose that set, especially
It's
Jerry
still
Maguire
weird,
feels
eclectic
weird.
set.
Do what? Nico, what'd you say?
No, I agree.
Uh,
I agree.
Jerry Maguire really stands out of that set. Like, what? It's a good movie, but it doesn't, with Lawrence of Arabia and Doctor Strangelove, I don't know.
Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia is incredible.
I'm going to get him.
Strangelove is great.
I'm going to get that set, though, because I really want to see them do more, because Sony has so many, in that Columbia archive, so many great films. I want to see more of those sets. Plus, Sony does really some of the best 4Ks.
Sony absolutely does some of the best, if
Yeah.
not the best.
I think Sony and the really top of the line Paramounts are really the best 4Ks. But Paramount doesn't put out nearly as many as Sony does. All right. Well, there's no comics, so I guess that's going to bring us to the end of the show.
Did anyone watch Westworld?
No one's
Neither
No.
did I.
no one's watching
Neither
back.
did I.
No,
No one's
Is
watching.
anyone watching Devs?
I'm behind
It's
on
on
that.
our list.
that's the new segment on the show. It's on our list. We want to watch it. We're trying to get through catch up on Handmaids probably first.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
too behind on
on
Devs. Yeah, Devs has been good, but I'm too behind.
Also, for those still interested, and yes, I check weekly, Knives Out Steelbook is still sold out within a 250-mile radius of us.
It's not coming back
Yeah.
at this point.
The best I've seen.
You're gonna have to go eBay.
I've seen it on Mercari for $50. It's the best I've seen it. So it is there, and that was factory sealed. So that's is that? $20 more than it was in the store. Not even
Roughly, yeah.
15, $16. I think it was
15, yeah.
probably $34, something like that.
Yeah, it's $34.99.
So it's not terrible, but still, I mean, I think that's the only way you're getting it now. I think we missed it. So I have a couple on Mercari that I'm following, hoping for the price to drop. We'll see. All right, Nico, where do we find you on the internet, sir?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Nico Scream, Niko, and then SCREAM, Nico Scream. Mostly, I guess, posting photos of action figures and stuff. So yeah, that's it.
Tina?
You can find me at Cheddar Popper both on Twitter and Instagram. That is CHEDRPOPPR. Where I'm doing mostly book reviews now because I can't go see movies.
Nathan?
You can find me on Instagram at Nate_R_70. And you can also find me in my living room on Zoom drinking a nice glass of basic rosé.
Zach?
You can find me. I'm on Steam, Twitch, and on Discord as a dangerous mute lunatic.
Find me just CultureSmash stuff, mostly just, I guess, Facebook. And then Off the Shelf Movie Night, I'm posting movie like Blu-ray stuff. I've got a bunch of Arrow video things that I ordered coming in, so I'll be unboxing that stuff. I think altogether it was like 13 movies that I have coming from them. So I have a crap ton of things coming to watch that box will ever get here. I guess that'll do it for this week. We'll see everybody next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
So